Hello, and welcome to I Watch This as an Adult, the podcast where I watch movies from my childhood from an adult perspective. And this week, I review 1997's Money Talks. Alright guys, Money Talks 1997. Here kicking it with Brashana again.
Hello.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this one's probably not gonna be a long one. You know, I'm probably not even gonna stick to the notes. Yes, we write notes. Hard to believe, right? But yeah, we're probably not gonna stay on this one too long, really, because it's like we'll just let you find out as we go along. I like to start off the podcast is like how I saw the movie. I'll start first. How I saw the movie was in my 7th grade algebra class, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. We had this teacher named Miss Allen, who, funny thing about that, funny is that she looked like Debbie Allen, which is funny. Yeah. I always thought that about her. I was like, her name is Miss Allen and she looks like Debbie Allen. I always thought that was hilarious. But she would let us bring movies on Friday. Friday she would let us bring in movies, and Friday would be movie day. And one of the kids brought in Money Talks. But before I get to that, there was a rule about the movies. The movies could not be rated R. They had to be G, PG, or PG-13.
Yeah. Since
we were all 13 now, but so we go watch PG-13 movies. And one of the kids brought Money Talks. He slipped that one through because Money Talks is rated R, and he lied and said that Money Talks was PG-13. I forgot which kid brought it in, but he brought it in and he lied and said it was PG-13. And you put it on, and you hear all these cursings, motherfucker, bitch, nigga, bitch, fucker, all this shit. And my teacher was like, whoa, wait a minute. He was like, they cursing. He's like, and the kid was just like, no, it's PG-13.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, I swore it was PG-13. But we finished the movie, actually. We've actually finished the movie. And I know Miss Allen was probably scared as shit that somebody was gonna walk up in that motherfucker and then hear a fuck go around and shit, But yeah, but that's how I first saw Money Talks. A kid brought it in to school and we watched it.
How I saw it, we actually had the movie. We had the movie.
You had the movie?
Yeah. And we watched it a lot.
Yeah,
we just watched it a lot. And it was fun. We enjoyed it. It was we watched it together as a family or individually. We just, played it a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie stars Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. This is Chris Tucker's first starring role. This is the first movie with his name at the top of the marquee, because he was a co-star in Friday, and then he had little bit parts elsewhere. He was in Jackie Brown, when he's in there for maybe 5 minutes. He's not in there long. I think there was another movie he was in before this. I'm trying to remember.
Dead President?
Dead Presidents. Yes, he was in Dead Presidents. He was in Dead Presidents. And then he did this movie, Money Talks. I want to say he did, because he did Friday. He was co-starring Friday. He was co-starring Dead Presidents. And then he did Jackie Brown.
And was he also a scene, was it a cameo scene where he did what do you call that movie? House Party 3?
Oh yeah, he was in House Party 3.
Right.
See, I'm just remembering
to go along.
remembering Chris Tucker roles,
Right.
which he doesn't have a lot.
Right.
It's a damn shame.
Right.
It's a damn shame because I think Chris Tucker is actually pretty talented. You know, I think he should have been in a lot more movies. I said this in my Rush Hour. Review that I think he should have been in a lot more movies. And I was like,
what about Fifth Element? Was that before or
I think
after?
that was after. I think that was even after. I think that was after Money Talks, and I want to say it was before Rush Hour.
Got you.
So like that's when he played Ruby Rod. I remember, yeah, and yeah, that was in between those two movies. But yeah, this is his first starring role, and like this is them trying out the Chris Tucker project, if you might say. They always like to try people out, you know. It was like, let's see if we can make some money off of this nigga, you know. So they throw him out there. But anyway, oh, and this movie's also another thing. This movie's also directed by Brett Ratner, who directed Rush Hour. So, you see there's a connection there. Chris Tucker plays a character named Franklin Hatchet, who is a ticket scalper. And Charlie Sheen plays James Russell, who is a news reporter. Franklin is just out here, you know, hustling, you know, making a living, trying to feed his girl and his unborn baby out here in these streets. I think this is in Los Angeles, right?
Right.
It's Los Angeles. So he just out here. James Russell comes around and just fucks his day up, pretty much, and gets him locked up. They put him in prison. It's pretty much he goes. The jail stuff is not long, you know. He's in holding for a little bit with this was actually a funny scene. He's in holding it with Faison Love.
The guy who plays Big Worm.
Yeah,
on Friday.
On Friday, yeah, it's Faison Love. And like I always like that scene. That scene is also, even though it's short.
It is funny.
But it's funny. But like Faison Love is trying to pretty much sexually molest Chris Tucker. He takes his shirt off and shit. And all of that stuff. But and it kind of looked like they were kind of trying to do a little bit of a Trading Places. You remember that scene in Trading Places with Eddie Murphy went to jail and he's just talking about my bitches, man. He was like, didn't I tell you that the phone in the limo was broke and I can't get in touch with my bitches?
Word.
It was like they were kind of trying to do a little bit of that. It was very brief, but
they did.
Yeah, but they're like he gets sent up. They try to send him up. I don't know what you would call it upstate. I've never been to prison before, so so I don't know what you would call it. But like he's chained up to this French guy. You know,
tethered, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah,
tethered with, you know, because they pair them two together because they're going to be 2 to 1 seat in, you know, the bus as they take them to upstate, I guess, to prison, I believe.
Yeah, I guess they're going to, like, I don't know, what's the California jail, like San Quentin?
Put you in holding, and then when they decide to put you in prison, that's where you go.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's just chained up to this guy. And then, like, this whole...
Is it kind of like another scene? I forgot what movie that was. But Eddie Murphy, once again, was singing in the prison bus.
Oh, you're talking about 48 Hours, I think.
Okay, it was kind of like that scene, too, where Chris Tucker was singing, like, Michael Jackson in the prison bus. Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of Eddie Murphy stuff going on. Right.
And that's a thing where a lot of comedians, they just, like, whenever they go on to go do a movie, it's kind of like, let's just be Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Or they try to make you into Eddie Murphy.
Right.
You know, because Eddie Murphy was so successful. You know, but yeah, he's chained up to this guy. There's a whole like helicopter and shit, and they just start. Like the French guy's like gang shows up.
Right.
And they
crew,
whatever you want to call them.
I don't know.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan, I don't know. But they show up and they bust him out of prison. Of course, Franklin is chained to the French guy.
Right.
So he gets busted out too. So what a coincidence. And so like they're talking about $15 million at the Auto Expo and all this shit.
They're like speaking French.
Yeah, they're speaking in French.
Chris Tucker doesn't know the language, obviously, and he just only thing he hear is Auto Expo.
Yeah.
And $15 million.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, you guys gotta cut me in if you talk about $15 million." And they're like talking, and then they like break him loose, and then he said something like in French that go ahead and kill him. I guess somehow, you know, Chris Tucker understood that, even though he doesn't know French, but he understood that and escaped. So.
I think he understood that because he pulled out that chopper, you know? Like, he pulled that goddamn chopper out. He was like, that's a language that everybody knows,
right?
You know, so he pulled that shit out. But yeah, he pulled that, old dude pulled out the chopper.
Yeah, let's just say that he knows body language.
Yeah.
More than the French, so.
Yeah. And then, like, he jumps out of the goddamn helicopter into the water and shit. And he swims and shit. But, yeah, and then we go back to James Russell. And he gets fired from the news. Whatchamacallit? God damn it. I forgot.
Station?
Yeah, the news station. I'm losing it today.
Whatever you want to call it, or channel?
Yeah, he gets fired from the news station. You know, Franklin's on the run. He's in this diner, and then they put his picture up on they put his picture.
The news
up,
popped up.
Yeah, they put his picture.
Said that they're looking for this guy. He's wanted for murder. They put the French guy and Franklin's face up.
Yeah.
And the cops were there eating and drinking, and they saw him right at the bar.
Yeah.
So it was a shootout.
Yeah,
and a chase.
That's the part that was kind of. I was like, these are some reckless ass cops, because they shoot up a crowded diner.
Right.
There's people in the diner, and they just recklessly shooting everywhere. I was like,
LAPD.
Oh God. LAPD. But yeah, and then we cut to another scene where like these two detectives show up at Franklin's girlfriend's house, and they're just talking about whenever you see Franklin, call us and all this shit.
Like she's gonna really do that.
Yeah. These cops kind of irked me, because I was like, these are two of the dumbest cops I have ever seen. Because fast forwarding through the movie, there's a scene where like Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker's character try to go to his house. They try to go to Franklin's house,
and you can clearly see the police stake out right at the front door.
Yeah, they're staking out right there at the front door where everybody can see them. I was like, these are two of the dumbest cops I have ever seen. They are so stupid. But anyway, well, like Franklin and James, they meet up. James wants to clear Franklin's name really for his own personal gain, because if he feels like if he can clear Franklin's name, he can get his job back. You know, so he wants to do that. You got Charlie Sheen in here. Charlie Sheen, I've always thought this about Charlie Sheen. I've always thought that Charlie Sheen was a terrible actor.
Wow.
But in whatever he's in, he's the worst part of it.
Wow.
I've always thought that. And that's a movie.
But he got tiger blood in his veins, though. I mean.
Yeah, that tiger blood ain't teaching him how to act. You know, you come from a great actor like Martin Sheen. You know, Martin Sheen's a good actor. I was like, even Emilio ain't that good.
Mm-hmm.
His brother ain't that good either. You know, like he's passable,
right?
But he ain't that good either.
I guess it's more like the charismatic. You know, they're like charisma.
But yeah, man, I've never liked Charlie Sheen in anything. I've liked movies that Charlie Sheen happened to be in. But I've never liked movies for Charlie Sheen.
Like The Breakfast Club.
That's Emilio Estevez.
Oh, man. Never mind.
Yeah, but...
Well, we're still talking about the brothers, though,
yeah,
so...
Yeah. But, yeah, I was like, he's not good in Lucas. Mm-hmm. He's the worst part of Lucas. Mm-hmm. I like Major League. Mm-hmm. And Major League 2, but it's not for him. You know, there's other characters in there. The Allstate guy is in those movies. And I think he's the best character in both of those movies. He's the best character playing the Cuban dude that do the voodoo and shit. I love that character more than I love Charlie Sheen's character. But anyway, I don't think he can act. You know, I don't think he can act. And we're back. That's what happens when you lose your co-host mid-podcast. You know, you had some things come up real quick, but now we're back. Let's finish this review, shall we?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
We're back. After all this, James wants to clear Franklin's name. We go to James's fiance house. We got this whole side story about James getting married. Nobody really gives a shit. Right. But we go back to Franklin's girlfriend. I think Franklin calls his girlfriend, I believe.
Yeah, he called his girlfriend, and he said he was gonna meet her.
Yeah, he wanted to meet her, and then like she's just talking and talking and talking and talking, just giving it all away. She's just pretty much dry snitching on him without even knowing that she dry snitching on him.
They have like this satellite on.
Yeah, they're tapping the house, or they're tapping the apartment. And I was just like,
they found out he was in Beverly Hills because James was at his
fiance's house. Yeah, and I was just like, wow, she just over here singing like a bird and don't even know it. You know, she's over here singing like a bird.
No voice code or none of that. You know, no double talk or anything. You know,
no double talk, nothing like that, bruh. Yeah, like we're at the party. They got the party scene. You know, you got 90s bombshell Heather Locklear, who's playing James's fiance. They don't really use her a lot, but she was just totally wasted in this movie. She has nothing to do in this movie. You got legendary actor Paul Sorvino, who's playing her father, and he takes a liking to Franklin because he thinks that he's Vic Damone and Diane Carroll's son.
And because he thinks he's half Italian.
He thinks he's half Italian. But I want to say about that. I want to talk about this because this is something I was probably going to save for later, but now that I brought up Paul Sorvino. You know, Paul Sorvino, he's a legendary actor. He mostly known for Goodfellas. He was the main boss in Goodfellas, and he was also on Law and Order for a long time. And but he and Chris Tucker and Paul Sorvino have a lot of chemistry with each other.
They did.
They had a lot of chemistry with each other, even though later on we find out that his character is racist, you know, but his character is racist as fuck. But when he finds out that Chris Tucker's character is not half Italian,
that he's 100%, what'd he say?
He said, so you're telling me he's 100% Mooley? That's what he says. But I'm just talking about the chemistry in this movie because like Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker have no chemistry.
Right.
They have no chemistry. It looked like the whole time Chris Tucker wanted to punch Charlie Sheen in the face.
Interesting.
The look on Chris Tucker looked aggravated. He was irritated by Chris Tucker. Not by Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker was irritated by himself, but Chris Tucker looks like he was irritated by Charlie Sheen. Because Charlie Sheen was probably being Charlie Sheen.
Right.
Probably showing up late to set. Probably blown out on drugs. Probably fucked like 6 hookers.
Wow.
The night before.
Right, or on the set, I guess.
Probably had him in his goddamn trailer. He was doing all types of dumb shit. Probably. Because Charlie Sheen is always a liability.
Right.
Everywhere he goes.
Probably so, in this set.
Yeah, and this is like late 90s Charlie Sheen, so he was probably even more of a liability because he was off the rails in the late 90s. So I think that it was like that 2.5 Men shit kind of. You was like, oh, okay. You thought he was about to be like Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
With that 2.5 Men shit.
Right.
He was like, oh, he's getting back on track. He's back. He getting his life together, and then he just fell off again. He just fell the fuck off again.
Right.
But yeah, man. But the whole time, Chris Tucker looked like he wanted to punch Charlie Sheen in the goddamn face. I know they were supposed to hate each other in the movie, but that looked real.
Right.
It looked real. It looked like he just wanted to just.
Like he's talented, but he's not that damn talented.
Yeah, I was like, I always said, I don't think Charlie Sheen's that good of an actor.
Right.
I don't.
But the chemistry they had with each other were very irritating.
Yeah, it was like Charlie Sheen probably didn't even want to do this movie. He was just doing it to get more drug money. Right. Probably. He was like, well, I need more drug money, so I'm gonna do this movie. I hope Charlie Sheen hears this.
Oh wow.
I hope he hears this because I don't give a fuck.
Oh.
Wow. But yeah, man, you got that. But yeah, the party scene doesn't really. The action in this movie is really exaggerated.
Yeah.
Because like I think there's a scene where like after Chris Tucker's character, Franklin. Mm. After Franklin goes to see his girlfriend.
Yeah.
After Franklin goes to see his girlfriend, the cops show up. Because like his girlfriend's just been singing like a goddamn bird,
Right, and they break through her door without a warrant, just being LAPD, Just
yeah, you know him better than I do, but but yeah, like they just show up, and the action is exaggerated because like Franklin and James are running and they're on the roof, and then like they make this this impossible ass jump, just like this jump. It looked like it wasn't nothing to them. I was like, neither of you dudes are like police officers or like action stars or nothing. Like they just jumped that shit like it ain't nothing. It was like y'all ain't got no training for this shit. How y'all just gonna clear a whole jumping from one building to another building like it ain't nothing? I was like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
So it was a stuntman?
Yeah, I know it was a stuntman, but it was supposed to be them, and they just jumped, like, without fucking thinking about it.
Right.
Because any normal person would be like, whoa, wait, shit, fuck. And then any normal person would have jumped and fell to the death, but not when you're
like 20 story buildings.
Not when you're Franklin and James. They can just jump that shit without no consequences whatsoever. But
I don't know, when you hear them screaming and how they edit it, I don't know if that was actually them. We didn't really see them, but see their faces. But what happened if it really was them that actually jumped the building?
Maybe it was. I'm thinking it was a fucking stunt double though. Really, I do. But, and let's talk about these villains.
Right.
Let's talk about these
They're just there.
Yeah, these are the most.
It's kind of like, it's more like the cops were more the villains than the actual villains.
Yeah, man, but these villains, they were just like run-of-the-mill ass villains. just your run-of-the-mill generic 90s villains.
Right.
It was just, you remember what 90s villains were like, right? They were just there. They were just evil just to be evil. And you don't know what their purpose was. You don't know what their motivation was. They were just there. They was just like, I want to do some shit just to go do some shit and take over the world. Ha 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 ha. Evil laugh. They were just, that's the type of villains they were.
Yeah, take over the world with $15 million. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's what they were trying to do, but I was just saying, like, they just had just run-of-the-mill, just fucking motivation. Just, it was nothing. It was nothing. They were just killing people for no reason. Over here, they shot this poor man coming out the store and shit. And just killing people for no reason. You pointed out, cause like there's a scene where like Franklin takes James's father-in-law to the auto expo.
Right.
And like they get the car. They get a car, the Jaguar car. And they find out like Franklin finds out that there's diamonds in it. That's the car that the bad guys want because they want the goddamn diamonds and shit. Which we don't.
Not the car, just the diamonds.
Which we don't find out about the diamonds till like halfway into the movie.
Right.
Which I'm like, maybe that's something that you should have brought up at the beginning.
Well, they were talking about it in French.
Yeah, they were talking about. I saw the subtitles. It's like they don't even mention diamonds. They just mention $15 million.
I think I did see $15 million. I did see $15 million in diamonds. And the red because it says in the red Jaguar at the auto export.
They don't mention
that was the subtitle.
They don't mention the diamonds by name.
Well,
they never mention the diamonds by name. I read those subtitles and they don't mention them.
I think they did. I remember seeing the word diamonds.
I don't know, but maybe I don't know. Fuck me, but anyway, yeah, they go. But you pointed out that because Franklin gets the car, one of the guys just come into like the place where like they clean the cars and shit, and he just shoots that motherfucker up.
Right.
And then so like Franklin's driving around in the goddamn car, and the other guy's driving around in his car. You mentioned that there's like a toll.
Right.
Like, where you gotta pay to get out of the garage, the parking garage.
Right.
You pointed out that the French villain guy just kills the parking garage guy for no goddamn reason. He just ran through him.
Wow.
He hit that poor innocent man with a car. This man probably got a family. It's like that's something that these people don't think about. They don't think about the people that they hurt.
Right.
They don't think about. That's something that I always think about. I always think about the people, the collateral damage that happens in these movies.
Right.
A lot of people brought this up recently. Because they talk about the Avengers film. Oh, they just killed so many people. Why? They just thanklessly kill so many people. Nobody even bats an eye and all this shit.
Right.
But I always think about this shit. I was like, dude, like, there could have been like a single mother in there, like trying to feed her kids, and you just like blew that building up. Like, why? Why would you do that? But anyway, yeah, they're like, just runs through this fucking guy like it ain't shit. But yeah, and then you got Franklin goes to see his arms dealer friend, who was played by the guy that played Eddie King Jr. in the 5 Heartbeats.
Right.
So Eddie King Jr. left the 5 Heartbeats to go sell guns, pretty much. That's what happens. Like, crack's a terrible drug, man. Crack is a terrible drug. But anyway, yeah, there's nothing really much else in this goddamn movie.
Oh yeah, and then so after the father-in-law found out that Franklin was lying and he's not Diane Carroll's son,
he's 100% Mooly.
Italian or anything like that. They found out all those things, and then they wound up going to the stadium, which he calls like his friend who helps him scalpel the ticket.
Well, first of all, James gets kidnapped.
Oh, right.
Yeah, James gets...
All right, because he did find the diamonds. Then he went to go meet his companion.
Yeah, he went to go meet... Yeah, Franklin meets his girlfriend and shows her the diamonds and shit.
And she's like, what we going to do with this? He was like, we can go wherever we want, you know. And then just when they decided that they was going to, I guess, disappear, James called and he was like, hey, they captured me and they need the diamonds and they're gonna kill me. And he said, well, tell them to shoot you in your what he said?
He said, tell them to shoot you in the medulla oblongata.
And he was like, what is that? He was like, if you shoot him there or they shoot you there, you won't feel a thing. He was gonna just straight disappear. He's like, I'm not playing with you. You really want the diamonds. So he's like, okay, fine. So he decided to go ahead and meet them up with the diamonds.
Yeah.
And then they decided to go to... They picked a spot at the stadium. Like
right.
The LA stadium. It's like an Olympic stadium or something? I don't know, because I do see like the...
It's like the LA Arena, some shit like
right,
that.
LA Arena.
I don't know. I'm not...
Right.
Yeah, I'm like...
And he meet everybody there. And, of course, it was a shootout, explosion, or whatnot.
Yeah.
One person.
Well, first of all,
one person, by the way.
Yeah, and another thing about this, like the two cops, they stopped Franklin.
Right.
They stopped Franklin, and one of the cops turns out to be dirty, and he shoots his partner with Franklin's gun and tries to frame him.
Right.
And so.
Because he wants the diamonds.
He wants the diamonds. I don't understand why. Because
I never knew how did he find out about it. But okay.
Yeah, I was like, this movie makes no sense.
And he was not connected to the French criminal neither.
Yeah,
so.
He wasn't even connected to them. It was like there was like two villains running around this motherfucker.
Right.
You know, I was like, what was the point of the dirty cop? Because
Right.
like he's not working with the French dudes. And how'd he find out about the diamonds? You know, like.
He's a cop, you know.
I guess I don't know, man. This movie made no goddamn sense.
And then you have
yeah.
You had Franklin's guys. He owes them money, and they found him there.
Right.
Know.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, did they find out about the diamonds too?
I think he tipped them off to the diamonds.
Oh.
Franklin tipped them off to the diamonds because he was just calling everybody. Because like he called like his dude that worked at the arena. Mm-hmm. He called the dudes that were like that he owed him money. He called Eddie King Jr. You know, he called all.
Have him for
backup. He called everybody.
And everybody was killing each other, really.
Yeah, it was like this. I'm like, this ending action segment was just so fucking ridiculous. It was just everybody shooting everybody, you know.
And nobody was on nobody's side.
Yeah,
it was only for their own personal gain because they heard about the diamonds, basically.
Yeah, man. But like these French guys are indestructible.
Yeah.
Cause one of the guys, the main guy, the henchman guy, gets shot in the back. Mm-hmm. Through the chest, right? Like the dude gets shot, through the chest, and he's still alive. He's still alive, and he's just starts shooting everywhere and shit, and has to take Franklin's friend to like blow him away with a goddamn missile missile launcher, a rocket launcher, and that's what finally kills him.
Right.
I was like, that is insane. And then this is pretty much it. The main bad guy gets blown up in a helicopter. Classic 90s death. You know, every villain used to get blown up in the 90s. But yeah, man, this movie was just all over the place to me. This movie was just really just a starring vehicle for Chris Tucker to see if he could work out in Hollywood, you know, if he could be their next guy.
Right.
Pretty much. Plot's convoluted. The movie don't really hold up. I look at it now and it's just like, yo, man, this shit is hella dated. You know, this movie is hella dated. It is a part of its time. So I'm ready to get my rating.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this movie a 3, just for Chris Tucker's charisma, and he did make me laugh in this movie.
He did.
He did. I laughed at all the jokes he told, but the movie itself. It's a pretty shitty movie. It's a pretty shitty movie. What would you give it?
I give it a 3.5.
3.5. Okay, that's what you give it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, man. I'm probably not gonna go back. To that one again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one I'm not going back to. I think that's like 2 in a row, right? I want to say because this one and Baps.
Right.
I think that's 2. I'm not going back to. But yeah, that was Money Talks. If you want to watch it, you can. But
Money
I wouldn't.
Talks, bush walks.
That's a great outro. So peace out.
Peace out.